Hi, my name's Abby Littlefield, and I am one of the academic advisors at our Southern Wake campus. And I'm here today to talk with you all about your transition math class and where you're going to go from here. During our time together, we will be identifying the math requirement for your specific program of study. We'll also make sure that you know how to accurately select the math course based on your tier completion. And we'll cover some tips that you need to remember as you think about summer and fall registration. To get started, we want to make sure that you know how to identify your program of study in self-service. So if you will, please log into self-service. My recommendation would be that you open another tab so that you don't lose this presentation, and that you log into self-service by going to waketech.edu. In the top right corner, you'll see logins, and you can select self-service. Once you've done that and you get into the login screen, for your username, or rather for your login information, you'll want to use your username without the @my.waketech.edu part. And then your password is going to be the same password that you've created for all of your Wake Tech accounts. So again, to get in, you're going to use your username without the @my.waketech.edu, and then the same password that you use for all of your Wake Tech accounts. Once you've logged into self-service, you'll then need to select student planning. And under student planning, you'll need to select My Progress. Just to review one more time, once you've logged into self-service, you'll need to select student planning, and then you'll need to select My Progress. Now, using the My Progress tool within self-service, you'll need to scroll through the progress to see where your math requirement is. Some programs have it near the top. I've seen some programs that have it at the very bottom, and then really it could be anywhere in between. So when you're looking through all of the requirements that you need for your degree, which is what your My Progress tool does, you need to go ahead and identify the math requirement for your specific program of study. Some things to think about as you're looking through your progress is that some programs of study may not have a math requirement. It's very rare, but there are some programs at Wake Tech that don't require math at all. For example, our Associate of Applied Science degree in Criminal Justice does not require math. You can take math, but you can also take Biology 161 in place of the math course. You also may notice on your progress tool that you may have more than one math option. So lots of our programs of study allow students to choose between many math courses. You may see just one listed, but you may also see anywhere from 2, 3, all the way up to like 5 math options. And so if that's the case, you'll need to choose which one of those math courses you plan to take. For those of you in the Associate of Science or the Associate of Engineering programs, you actually have more than one math requirement. So for the sake of this class and this presentation, you're going to need to identify the first math that you need for your program of study. And then for those of you in any of our health sciences programs, please note that even within those different programs, the math requirement may differ. So for example, some of our health sciences programs don't have a math requirement as part of the curriculum, but you may have to take a certain math to be considered for admission into that competitive program. Yet other health sciences programs may require an actual math class as part of the program of study. So again, it's going to be very specialized to you and what you're studying, and it may look very different than your classmates. So make sure that you're looking at your individualized program of study. So how many math tiers should you be completing this semester to move into the math that you need for your program. For those of you that get through Tier 1 by the end of the semester, you have 3 options. You can take Math 110 without a co-requisite. You can also take Math 143, which is quantitative literacy, or Math 152, which is statistics, but you'll notice with both of those options that there's an and the and is either Math 043 or Math 052. And these are what we call co-requisites, meaning they are classes that you take at the same time as the gateway class. They have their own times, their own instructors, their own number of credit hours, but they are support classes to help enhance what you're learning in the gateway class itself. So again, with completing Tier 1, you can take Math 110 without a co-req, or you can take Math 143 or 152 with a co-requisite. Keep in mind that with the co-requisite situation, you do have to take the co-req at the same time as the gateway class. And if you choose to drop one or the other, you have to drop both. So for example, you can't stay in the gateway and drop the co-req, and you can't stay in the co-req and drop the gateway class. You have to take both of them or neither of them. You'll also notice at the bottom in black where it says that you must have completed English 002 in addition to the Tier 1 for Math 003 in order to take Math 143, Math 152, or Math 171, which Math 171 is not an option under Tier 1, but it will be for Tier 2 and 3. So just wanted to put that out there that if you have not yet taken Transition English and completed it successfully, you'll need to do that before you can take Math 143, Math 152, or Math 171. For those of you that get through Tier 2, you'll notice instantly that your options just got a lot larger. So now you can take Math 110, Math 143, or Math 152 without a co-requisite. And you can also take Math 121 or Math 171 with a co-requisite. Math 121 is Algebra Trig. Math 171 is Pre-Calculus Algebra. And again, to take Math 143, 152, or 171, you must have completed English 002 successfully, in addition to the math prerequisite to be able to take Math 143, Math 152, and Math 171. For those of you that are able to work all the way through Tier 3, you'll notice that now you have the option to take any of the Gateway Math classes, and you don't have to take a co-req with any of them. So you just need the Gateway Math class if you've completed Tier 3. And again, just one more reminder that in order to take the 143, the 152, or the 171, you also must have completed English 002 with a passing grade in order to register for any of those classes. Some things to remember. Keep in mind, as I mentioned earlier, that your math requirement is going to vary depending on your program of study. So the math that you need is very likely different from the other classmates that you have. They're probably very different than your friends. And so make sure that you're not assuming that what your friend needs is what you need, but that you're looking at your individualized program of study to make that determination. If you aren't sure, either A, what math you need, or B, what your program of study is or should be, we want you to speak with an advisor. And at the end of this presentation, I'm going to give you some contact information for how to reach out to us for that. Keep in mind that both summer and fall registration will begin on April 12th. This is only the second time in Wake Tech history that we've allowed both summer and fall registration to happen at the same time. And so you'll be able to sign up for both summer and fall classes on the same day. Keep in mind that April 12th is the first day of registration. That does not mean that you are registering on the 12th. It means that Whoever has completed the number of hours that need to be completed by that date are on the 12th. For those of you in this class, because you're somewhere between 0 and 30 credits completed, most likely, then you're going to be registering, probably a week or two after the 12th. This information can be found on the registrar's website at this time. It's already on the registrar's website for you to view. Also, your registration date and time will be added to self-service, and it's added each semester. You may not find that information, though, until the schedule comes out, which for the summer and fall is going to be April 5th. So that's when you'll be able to go in and take a look to see what's being offered, how is it being offered, what are the dates, what are the instructors, is it synchronous, is it asynchronous, etc. Again, you'll have a registration date and specific time. So make sure that not only you're trying to register on that date, but that you're going in at that time that's been designated for you. It may be 7 a.m., it may be 10 a.m., it may be 1 p.m., 3 p.m., but make sure that you know your specific date and your specific time. Another thing we wanted to make sure you're aware of is the difference between synchronous and asynchronous courses. You probably ran into this already with registration for spring, noticing how self-service lists things differently, but we do want to take the time to make sure that you have a clear understanding of those differences. So if you look at the synchronous option, you'll notice for starters that under the time, it gives specific days of the week, which in this case is Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. And it also gives a specific time, which is 9 a.m. to 9:50. You'll notice that for the location, it says online, Microsoft Teams, which means for this specific class, even though you're not on campus, you are meeting as a class at those designated times, just like you would be if you were physically on campus. On the other hand, asynchronous classes, you'll notice as the second option here, it does not have any specific days of the week, nor does it have any specific times. And for the location, it says online. So asynchronous means you don't have to meet at any particular times of the week or times of the day, but you do have to have your assignments in by whatever deadline the instructor determines. So for people who work full-time or people whose schedules change quite frequently, asynchronous is usually a better option because it gives you the extra flexibility. For those of you that do better with instruction, like physical instruction, you may want to do the synchronous option. It's going to feel more like a typical class in person, even though it's meeting online. So again, when you're looking at the summer and fall schedules, make sure you're paying close attention to these descriptions and that you're choosing the options that work best for you. We do also want to make sure that you know how to add the terms to your self-planner, or sorry, student planner. So in self-service, under student planning, rather than being in the My Progress tool, at this point, we want you to do the plan and schedule option. So again, student planning, plan and schedule, and then you will see a blue plus sign. And when you click on that plus sign, you will then get a drop down for different semesters that you can add. So we would recommend that you add summer 2021 and also fall 2021. If for some reason your terms are already showing up, then you don't need to do this step. But for those of you who only are seeing spring of 2021 and earlier, we would encourage you to do this step. We also want to make sure that you know how to identify your specific registration date and time. So again, under the same, you're in student planning, you're in plan and schedule, you're going to select whichever term you're looking for, the summer or the fall. You can do both of them, but separately. You should be able to see a specific registration date and time once that information is released. As I mentioned earlier, I don't think you'll see it now. You may, but normally you won't be able to see that information until the schedule is published, which again, for this term is going to be April 5th. If you look here and you don't see a date as of April 5th, I would encourage you to reach out to advising because we may need to manually put a date in for you if for some reason it got missed. But again, if you look today and don't see anything, that's normal. But as of April 5th, or at least by April 12th, which is the very first day of registration in general, you should be able to see that information. And if you can't, we encourage you to touch base with us so that we can give you that information. For those of you who are in an applied science degree, which is our non-university transfer options, in addition to the Associate of Fine Arts and in addition to the Associate of Engineering degrees, you have a faculty advisor assigned to you after your first semester. So you will no longer be going to the General Advising Center for course planning and for goal setting and all those great things, but you'll be going to your faculty advisor. So again, we want to make sure that you know how to identify that information in self-service. So if you're under the same tool that you should already be in, which is under student planning within plan and schedule, if you select the advising tab, you should see your faculty advisor's name and email. If you are in the Associate of Arts or the Associate of Science degrees, you probably don't have an advisor listed, and if you do, it probably says CUT advising or something similar. What that means is that you work with the advising center throughout your time at Wake Tech, and you can work with any of us whenever you need to, but you don't have a specific advisor assigned to you. So we want you to initiate those conversations. If you are in an Associate of Applied Science degree or Fine Arts or Associate of Engineering, and you don't have a faculty advisor listed, I would encourage you to reach out to advising so that we can have an advisor assigned to you, because this is going to be very critical as you move forward. Just to recap your options based on the tier completion for this semester, completing Tier 1 allows you to take Math 110 by itself, along with Math 143 or Math 152 with a co-req. Tier 2 allows you to take Math 110, 143, and 152 by themselves, in addition to Math 121 and 171 with a co-requisite. And completing Tier 3 allows you to take any of the Gateway Math options without having to take a co-req. And one final reminder that you do have to have completed English 002 successfully, in addition to your math tier completion, in order to take Math 143, 152, or 171. So now that we've been through this information, I want to make sure that you're very clear on what to do now. So what do you do if you aren't sure that you're in the right program? Or what if you do if you aren't sure of what your registration date and time is for summer and fall? What if you're not sure who your faculty advisor is? And what if you're still not sure which math you should be taking after this semester? We want you to ask us. I have included our contact information here. If you go to advising.waketech.edu, which is our website, you will see in green, you can hit virtual appointment, and you will be able to schedule a virtual appointment with us. If you are in a health sciences program, meaning nursing or pre-nursing, pre-radiography, sonography, medical assisting, dental hygiene, et cetera, then you're going to want to schedule with a health sciences advisor and not with any of the other advisors under that virtual tab. So you're going to want to choose the health sciences campus instead. But you can schedule virtual appointments with us on Monday through Thursday from 8 to 8 and from Fridays from 8 to 5. And again, these are appointments, so you get to determine the day and the time of day. There's no waiting, right? You just show up in the session through Teams at that given time for your session. You can also email us at advising@waketech.edu if you need to know, who your faculty advisor is, or you don't think you have one and you need one assigned. If you're not sure if you're in the right program of study, If you need help identifying the math that you need to take next, you can send us those questions at that email address and we will get back to you. And if we feel like we need to meet with you, we would tell you that in our follow-up. You can also call us at 919-866-5474 for any of those questions that I've listed, and we can help you that way as well. And in addition to virtual appointments, we are doing campus walk-ins right now. Our hours for walk-ins are Monday through Friday from 8 to 5. And the campus locations that have walk-in hours are Southern Campus, Northern Campus, Perry Health Sciences Campus, and RTP. Again, if you're in a health sciences program, then you'd want to go to the Perry Health Sciences campus. If you are not in a health sciences program, then you would want to go to one of the other 3 locations. But just keep in mind that you would be coming as a walk-in, which means you may have to wait depending on the number of people ahead of you. Again, if you have a faculty advisor, then that's really who you should be reaching out to at this point for course planning, goal setting, etc. But if you have any follow-up questions to this presentation, including what math to take, how do I know who my faculty advisor is, how do I know that I'm in the right program of study, then I would encourage you to reach out to us through email, phone, or scheduling an appointment with us. I really hope this information has been helpful to you. I will be sure to include my contact information for your instructors so that you can reach out to me directly if you need to in the future. I thank you so much for your time, and I hope you have a wonderful day.